Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the February 7th, 2023 Ashland Board of Health meeting. Just a quick disclaimer. This agenda is subject to change and includes those items reasonably anticipated by the chair to be discussed at the meeting. Not all agenda items may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. I'd like to welcome everybody, especially you, Victoria. I know everybody else. How are you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good. So
Doing all right.
all right. Hey, Jay. Hey, Ed. How are you? Barbara, Bernadette, or I guess Barbara's not here. Bernadette is though.
I'm here.
Good.
And of course, Raj. Oh, you're there?
I'm
Oh,
here.
I just see iPhone. I'm sorry.
I know. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Just,
That's okay.
just running around with
All
the
right.
kids, but I'm here.
Okay, terrific. All right. All right, good. We have a full board, and as always, we'll call the meeting to order at we'll say 6:05. And the second order is always citizens participation. I see Mark DeSoni is on. I'm sure you got something you want to add. Mark, what do you got?
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, right. Good evening. Wow.
Good evening.
It's been a busy week here and taking care of my dad.
Yep.
He has now stepped up to have V&A hospice here.
Ah.
So I'm getting more hands and I'm less on, which means I get a vacation pretty soon. And everything else is going well, doing good. And very understandable full board agenda tonight.
Yeah.
No record time of 10-15 minutes, huh?
No, yeah, it doesn't look like it'll be that bad, but I'm sorry to hear, at least about the hospice thing, because I generally know what that means, but I'm hoping your dad's comfortable. How old of a man is he, Mark?
97.
Ugh, that's unbelievable.
He can still read the paper without glasses and still remembers things. He still remembers World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're happy that he's still on this earth.
Yeah.
And he's getting professional hands-on. We first started here 7 years ago. First 1.5 years, I was by myself doing this.
Yeah.
Taking care of him. Now with the hands-on for the last 5 years. Now this past week or so, those 5 years are now still counting, and he's still on this earth, and we want to keep him on as possible and as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
And as a medical person, Ron and Ed and all, medicine is a wonder, but the people doing it are great.
Yeah. Well, very nice of you to say thank you. And you're a gun stud for looking after your dad. Not everybody would do that. So
Yeah,
he's a lucky man.
Unpaid pain in the butt. That's what I am.
That's all right. I'm sure he appreciates every little bit of a pain in the butt that you are. So, okay. All right. So sorry, I got to switch back and forth. I still don't have a printer in the office, so I've got everything up. Moving on to agenda item number 3, 125 Sudbury Street septic variance. Raj, do you have anything that you want to start, or do we just ask, is it
Mr.
I don't know, is it Alberto? Is that who's?
That would be me.
Yeah, is that you? Hi, Alberto, how are you? Yeah.
Dr. Ron, we have reviewed the plans. We
Yeah.
are good to go on it, 3 variances that they're asking the board, just our basic variances, so if.
Yeah. So I read them all and we have it. Do we need to do a screen sharing thing? Alberto, you want to go over these, with us?
I can certainly go over them if you.
Yeah.
I don't have a screen to share with.
Yeah, that's okay. Everybody has them. So even just to mention them to us, just is great.
So I'll just go verbally through the plan.
Okay.
So the property is located at the intersection of Winter Street and Sudbury Street. On the property, we have a 1.5-story wood dwelling with a septic system, septic tank leaching area on the northerly side. We do have wetlands on the easterly side of the property that have been delineated. The existing leaching area occurs between 50 and 100 feet of the wetlands. Our purpose here, the septic has been inspected and it did not pass Title V. So our idea here is to upgrade this system and try and keep it away from the wetlands also as much as we can. So we tested the property. We did 3 test pits and 2 percolation tests with Rajid a few months ago, back in July. And we came up with this design, basically proposing a 2,000-gallon tank, septic tank. And instead of using a conventional Title V system, we're proposing the Elgin system, which allows us a reduction of about 40% on footprint for leaching area. Even so, it is a very tight lot. It's got a lot of constraints. So we did go over the Title V regulations, and we are requesting some leniency on the setback distances. One of them is distance from the leaching area to the foundation. We're proposing 15 feet. The requirement is 20 feet. Also, because the leaching area is between the roadway side on Winter Street and the house, we're also requesting a variance for 10 feet from the property line. We have 9.2 feet. So that's Title V. On the local level, your local regulations require the trenches to have a spacing of 10 feet minimum. We designed this. The Elgin system basically tells you 6 feet is what you need, and that is basically what Title V requires, without having a reserve area, excuse me, between the trenches. It's double the width of the trenches, and this is considered a trench system, 3 feet wide trenches. So 6 feet is what we have. So we're requesting a variance for that, just to keep it tighter. Then also, your local regulations require us to design for a garbage grinder. So garbage grinder would increase the size of the leaching system by 50%. So if we do that, we'll basically be even tighter than we are now. Basically, probably closer to the intersection of Winter Street and Sudbury Street than we are now. And or perhaps even closer, less than 9.2 feet from the property line. So we're asking for that. Certainly the board can ask for a restriction, a deed restriction, no garbage grinders in the dwelling. Currently, there are no garbage grinders in the house, and our client doesn't plan to use any. And finally, there was an adjustment also in the groundwater table, but I don't think this is a variance that we're requesting. It's just that we tested in July, last July. It was somewhat of a drought month, and so Raji said, well, you should probably look at the monitoring wells and see if there's any adjustment that should be done on this. So upon his review, we did look at the Ashland USGS well. And we noted that there was a difference of 1.3 feet between what was observed in spring of 2022 and, or I'm sorry, in the springtime of 2022 and July 5th, 2022, when we did the testing. So there was that distance. We show it on our profile. It does turn out that the Elgin system is approved for a distance of up to 2 feet. So we are proposing 2.8 feet. So I don't think it's a variance, but if the board feels it is, we can certainly take it. The system we are proposing is a gravity system. So it will require a minor adjustment of the plumbing in the house and the outlet pipe a few inches, but it will allow us to do this by gravity. So that's what I have for presentation.
Okay.
Gladly answer any questions.
Alberto, I have a question for you, mainly for my own edification, if that's okay. And if this comes up again, we'll kind of know what the answer is, but because we're not engineers. So if you decrease the distance from the system to the foundation from 20 feet to 15 feet, are there any concerns with doing that? And how can, when we make a decision to okay that, how can we feel good about that? Just again, out of curiosity.
Well, based on the soils that we found, the granular soils, sandy soils, the tendency is for the sewage to move in a vertical direction. If you have soils with clay or silt on them, they're finer soils. It's a slow percolation rate. It tends to spread out more, so it would be spreading out more towards the foundation. So in this case, I think the vertical component of flow is what dominates in this type of soil.
Okay, thank you.
I just have one regarding the garbage disposal. Why does it need an extra 50% increase in the leaching field? Does that mean that the tank needs to be 50% bigger? So it would be a 3,000, gallon tank or?
Okay, so
Yeah,
the state code says actually if you have a garbage grinder, the septic tank has to have 200% of the daily flow. So if we have a 1,000-gallon tank, that's going to be moved up to 2,000 gallons. The leaching area it's 50%. That's what the code says. So if your rules say designed for garbage grinder, that's what we'd be looking at.
right. Okay. So, all right, Raj, you good with everything?
Yes, sir. So a couple of things I want to point out. Yes, they're going to be a deed restriction for the garbage grinder. We do
Okay.
that. And Mr. the Elgin system, yes, that probably won't need the variance. That we check, but the board have the final say. But like with the Elgin, it's approved for 2 feet. So we'll be good on that. So
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, great. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve all three variances, the minimum setback distance, the local regulation section 303.14 and local regulation section 303.11 to be approved?
I can, do you want them individually, Ron?
I think we can do them as a unit if we're all gonna pass them.
Okay.
Did you see the?
I've got it here, and that's why I
Okay,
asked. I
okay.
can do them
Okay.
probably separately.
Sorry, Laura.
just right
Well,
in
I'm
front of me.
Okay, sorry, it went out late, Ron.
Oh, no problem. I'll take a crack at
Might
it then.
have seen it.
Okay,
All right, I make a motion to grant the waiver from 310 CMR 15.211 to allow a reduction from the required 20 feet from a soil absorption system to a foundation to 15 feet, and also allow a reduction from the required 10 feet from the soil absorption system to a property line to 9.2 feet.
great. So Laura, you're saying we have to do this individually? Raj?
You don't have to. I'm gonna second it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, why don't you just read them all? We can do it once. I didn't think we had to either.
okay. Well, that's the first one.
Okay,
Might as well do them individually because two more in there. The last one's pretty
Okay.
short. So,
Fine.
second one is I make a motion to
Ed
grant.
already seconded it, so
Right.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Everybody, okay, passes 5-0.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
303 so this is the leaching area, 303-11 garbage disposal unit. I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations, section 303-11 to allow the subsurface sewerage disposal system to be designed without a garbage disposal, with the conditions that no garbage disposal be installed within the house and a deed recording be placed on the property stating no garbage disposal shall be installed in the house while the subsurface sewerage disposal system is in use for 125 Sudbury Road.
Anybody
I
like to
second
sec-
that.
Okay, great. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes.
Okay, and this is for the distance between trenches and the pits. So I make a motion to grant a variance from Ashland Board of Health Regulations 303-14 to allow a reduction from the required distance between trenches of 10 feet to a distance of 6 feet.
Great.
Second
Anybody
it.
second that?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
All right.
all right, that's great. All right. Alberto, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you
luck
very
with that.
much. Pleasure to meet you all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Raj.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to agenda item 4, the Ashland body art regulations. Raj, you want to preface anything with this?
So only thing from the last draft, I guess Laura sent
Yeah.
it to you a couple of days back. So we have, I have edited the fees that was put
Okay.
in before, Other than that, I mean, if any board member have any questions, I can try to answer it or find
Yeah.
answers for it, though
Yeah.
it's something little new for me as well,
Yeah.
So if anybody have any questions, or
Yeah.
if the board feels it's good, or if we need to make any modifications or anything, we're happy to look at it.
Raj, I did have, I marked it up, the document, and so there are some questions and some comments. Do you think it would be best if I just sent that to you? I don't know if that delays anything. I don't want to delay anything.
But Dr. J, we definitely want to address it, if you want to send it
Okay.
to me,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
okay, all right.
that's fine, and I'll try to get the answers for the board if you want to share it with everybody, and
Yep, I can send it to you, and if you want to or to Laura and just send it out.
absolutely,
Okay,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would consider them minor edits or suggestions or questions.
Sure. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Anybody else have any questions? I just had, I have a bunch down here as well, but I can send these over to you. Just one thing that wasn't clear to me is, is a minor considered under 18 in this or under 14? Because there was multiple areas where you said you couldn't do anything if somebody was under 14, but are you talking minor legally as in 18 or 14? I don't know how clear that is unless I just misread things.
Dr. Ron, I need to check, so
Okay.
I will check on that,
I'll send it to you where the areas are so you don't have to look through the whole document. It's a big document. It's very inclusive, Raj.
Yeah.
Has way more things in it than I thought. I still don't know how you vet these, the education, the training. I'm sure there's ways to do that. How they're keeping their documents with basically, well, it's almost like me with informed consent when you're doing something. It's much more involved than I thought. So it's a big process. I think, if you start getting a few in there, I think it's going to take a little while to get all the paperwork done. It looks like labor intensive to me, but it looks very inclusive.
True, Dr. Ron, but they're trying to do, like the application or paperwork we have they're trying to do microblading, so.
Right.
And that was one reason that we needed to look at this, because the earlier one we had was like, kind of outdated, and a lot of new stuff is coming in, so. So yes,
Yeah.
and I guess the fee schedule also, right? Like,
Yeah.
Me and Laura was looking at the fees, like there is a fee, like I guess for $300+, for the
Yeah.
review and all that. Definitely
Yeah.
take the time, so.
Yeah,
that's why it
I'm
was
sure
in-
you're
in
gonna
place.
have to. But are a lot of the documentations or the documents that they need to use, are those, something that the state has, or are those made up by the individual establishment itself? So, if apparently it has to be in writing, what is going to be done. And there has to be a history and physical basically done by I mean, I don't know how inclusive it is, but they're supposed to say whether or not they're on any blood thinners, or, you know, whether or not they have hemophilia, or if they have a latex allergy. Are there, you know, pre-made forms that these places get, or are they responsible for supplying all these types of documents to you for your approval?
So like initial application, right? We're gonna ask
Yeah.
them to submit all that, you know, but
Okay.
there are requirements for their education and the credits and all that, you know.
I see.
That we'll be checking, you know, during the initial plan review kind of situation, you know.
Yep.
And me and Laura is still gonna work on the application part, you know, so once we have this clear, you know, we'll come up with an application, you know, that the thing was like we didn't had any body art here in Ashland, you know, so I don't think so we had a prior, you know, application and all that for body art, you know, at least
Yeah.
I have not found, you know, maybe there was, you know, but we'll get new stuff in, you know, like for the review and all that.
So did you say though that we already had regulations, some form of regulations?
We had, so yes, you know,
Yeah.
I can send you a copy, but you know, if I'm not wrong, I mean, it was probably adopted in 2000s or something, maybe a little before,
Yeah.
even, you know.
Yeah.
This was when last one was adopted, you know.
So I suppose that means that we already have the format for the licensing for the practitioner and the establishments.
Again, Dr. J, I'll look, you know.
Yeah.
We just have to, with my initial thing, I didn't find anything, but maybe, you know, it's just my system, you know, but we will look, you know, so.
Yep. All right. I sent you my form edits just
Thank
now
you.
by email. So, okay.
Okay. All right. All right, Raj, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Jay, you're up. The update on remote area medical.
All right. So we are continuing to set up meetings with community resources. We met with the, let's see, where is it here? I can't find here, but the Metro West Health Foundation last week, Ed Hart and I did. That went well. Steve Mitchell and I will be meeting with the board of directors from the Lions Club on the 14th, which is next Tuesday. And this is all just to spread the word that we're doing the clinic and trying to get word out for patients, but at this point for general volunteers, especially in the case of the Lions Club. We have a meeting next Monday with the Metro West Free Medical Program. And so we are trying to connect with these resources. Also, let's see here. I made some sketchy notes. And Laura, I want to thank you for Laura. Clifford's been working with Ed Hart on the promotion side. It has been very helpful. And so thank you, Laura. We're continuing to pursue donations and grant mechanisms. And we are setting up a time, we're trying to set up a time for our community host group to meet with for the first time, a formal meeting with the Keefe Tech staff. So that's really, so there's a lot going on, but that's all I've got on my end since we last met. And Ed, I don't know if you want to add to that. You've got anything new?
No, I did check, Jay, I did check with, I went to check in with Addie Gibson today, and she's on vacation this week, the woman from Metro West Medical Center. So
Okay.
I'll catch up with her on Monday or Tuesday.
All right, excellent, thanks. All right, I think that's it, Ron.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you again. Yeah. And you too, Ed. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Raj, moving on to 6, health director's agenda.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
so the hoarding case at 137, you know, we again had a couple of meetings, you know, myself, Jennifer Wolfing, and the DMH case manager. Both the brothers, to our information, they are in Monticello Inn in Framingham so far, you know. The timeline that we have given them for the repairs have passed now, you know, like we had given them 30 days, you know, to come up with a solution that we have not. Last week, I have spoken to the DMH worker because he's in constant touch with the brothers, right? To ask them again, hey, if you want to submit anything to Board of Health, right? A written plan, like what they plan to do for the repairs or to do with the property. We have not heard since, So I'll discuss with our team at the town hall, like what steps moving forward, We probably have to approach court at this point, that we have not heard, and see some relief, like what should we be doing with the property, Besides that, we had a couple of no heat, no hot water cases that are resolved. There is one cross metering case I'm dealing with, on Main Street, that I'll keep the board posted, About the tobacco to sale to minor, I have sent the board, we had out of our 17 vendors, this was on January the 29th, Sunday, that our tobacco person from the Metro West area, she was doing inspections, and two of our vendors had made sales to minors, Clock9 Liquors and Family Dollar. We are working, with because this work is done out of Framingham. We are working with them to come up, with the letters, and we'll be issuing the citations. The citation now is $1,000 per violation for the first offense. Only other thing I want to bring to the board, that Family Dollar, they had their second violation actually, within the 36 months. And we have consulted it with our legal consult for tobacco, Cheryl Sabara, she have mentioned, because these are new fines, but again, it's going to be board's decision, that if we're going to be issuing them $1,000 fine or $2,500 fine, but they have recommended, right, that we can start with the first fine as a first offense, though this was their second offense, in 36 months, so I'll leave that to board, if you have any thoughts, but I know there is some delay in the process, but Framingham had 8 violations. They're making sure that, we do everything right, and we should be ordering that soon, issuing the fines and the order letters,
So are they coming in front of the board or not?
Absolutely, sir. We're going to be bringing them once the notices are served and the fines, that we'll be bringing them in front of the board, hopefully next meeting,
Yeah. So do the two places, Raj, I don't know that don't they have, some type of, automatic stop or check if they don't scan a license or identification? Because I know what, when I go into, the liquor store where, Main Street, is they check my license and I have to scan it. If those don't have that, that's they need to have that, because if they have that, then it's just complete lack of compliance by whoever's taking the cash, to do it. So they're not trained well enough. I mean, that's a big fine to me.
That's true.
That's going to sting. And if they don't have those, then they should. But
I touched with, I'm not able to speak to both the owners yet,
Yeah.
Family Dollar, the last manager, I had a word with him yesterday. Also, he said like he have quit his job, so there is a lot of turnover there.
Yeah.
But I will check where the lapses are, or definitely they should be explaining to the board like where it was and all that, so. But yes, the fines are stringent. I guess that's what they are. I am not aware if everybody have that system of checking that, but according to the tobacco person, this was clear-cut sales. So
Yeah. Oh no, I believe that it is. Yeah.
Raj, can we mandate as part of the like a settlement with them that they will get some kind of computerized checking like some of the other stores have?
We can definitely certainly ask Mr. Berman, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, if we can, I guess we need to, I don't think so it's in our regulation, but like, if board can ask them, so.
Raj, can you just check with legal counsel and see if we can make that a requirement?
I will, sir, yes,
Right. And then, and the other thing, I know it's a little off topic, but when was the last time Tom was in there to do an inspection? Because I know we've had issues with Family Dollar in the past.
So we had some issues with the food too, that was resolved, so, but like, yes, but Tom, I don't have the exact date, but yes, we have been there recently.
Okay.
And I know Diane's hand was up. Diane, you have anything to say?
Sorry,
Diane?
sorry, I'm multitasking and
Yeah.
not doing a good job. No, excuse me. Hi, everybody. Good to see
Hi,
everybody.
Diane, how are you?
Good. I
Good.
expressed my concern to Raj today and I told him I'd probably jump on that,
Yeah,
when I was on the board, Family Dollar came in front of us before. And, everybody made these promises from corporate and it's the same story. People don't have enough hours, people, quit, whatever the case may be. And I was, a little disappointed that they haven't been physically given a fine or called in front of the board for tonight. I thought they would be in front of the board. That was one of the reasons why I was attending. Because I mean, that 20, whether it's 1,000 or 2,500, that should sting a little bit. And, I think that if, you're going to have them in front of the board 2 weeks from now, that's a month after they got the violation. Who knows if the staff is going to be the same? Who knows if the managers are going to be the same? You just lose the attention of the establishment. And I mean, we put so much effort into our tobacco regulations and our compliance checks that, I don't recall one of the establishments coming in front of the board before, but Family Dollar definitely has. And it's very concerning that they're selling tobacco products again to minors and they could be still doing it. So I just wanted to, I understand, the board only meets every 2 weeks, but they should be contacted corporate and they should be given their fine and bring it to their attention.
Can-
yeah,
can-
go ahead.
And Diane, you might know the answer to this. Do we have the ability to suspend their license to sell tobacco in the meantime?
So again, I know Raj and I had a conversation today, and of course, our town council, who is the one who, Cheryl Sabara gives general advice, but our council's in tomorrow. You should ask her. I don't have the dates of when they last sold, but if it's twice within the 36 months, and the rules that are in place right now says you can suspend their license, but you have to have a public discussion and bring them in front of the board to be talking about all these things.
Okay.
You don't want to have an open meeting law violation by talking about it without them present, but I think Raj already mentioned he's going to talk to our town council and get legal advice to see exactly where they're at in their time.
Yeah, Raj, can we get them scheduled to be at the next meeting? And in the meantime, get legal counsel's advice to advise us on what different routes we can take?
Definitely, Mr. Berman. So how it is in our regulation, right now, first violation is $1,000 fine, right? Second violation is $2,500 fine plus, I guess, 12 days of suspension. Then the third fine have $5,000, I guess, up to 30 days. And if there is a fourth violation within 36 months, right, then the board can actually suspend their permit, for whatever duration they want. I guess that's might be a little off on the timelines, right? 12 days, I guess, 30 days. But the first, violation is $1,000, so that's what is written in our regulation, that was adopted, I guess, late 2020, or very early 2021, when these fines from the state came on board, so. And I agree with Diane's point, but Framingham is kind of trying to look, on every prospective before issuing it, And in fact, I saw the assistant director today. We have a housing code training whole day. I did speak with her. They're just working on it. So should be done shortly. So. I had with multiple conversations with Framingham, maybe 4 or 5 times. So from last week, so when this happened, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
So,
right.
COVID childhood vaccine clinics, we do have one clinic tomorrow for COVID as well as childhood vaccine. With extreme weather, we did set up, 2 warming centers. One was at our community center that was on Friday, and on Saturday we had the warming center set up at Ashland Public Library. And the director mentioned that they had a lot of people come in. She was not sure if it is because of the warming center, but she did mention that there are a lot of people at the library on Saturday. With the foodborne illnesses, last week we had a couple of foodborne illnesses. There was an E. coli case that we was dealing, and there was a Campylobacter. We investigated both the cases. They both had out of country travel, so nothing locally, and I'm open for any questions now.
Okay.
Is the
Anybody?
child vaccination clinic for boosters, or even people getting vaccines for the first time can come in?
So these ones is just for boosters. We don't have any vaccines for the first doses, but I did speak with our pharmacy. With the pharmacy we did a couple of clinics earlier this year. They have some vaccines, I guess, and I can recheck if somebody needs it, the first and second dose.
Okay.
But the one we are doing currently is just the boosters, and Victoria is helping a lot, with the clinic. She was present at both the last 2 clinics, right, Victoria? Yes.
Okay,
So thank you.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Raj.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. Anybody like to make a motion to pass the consent agenda as written?
I will,
We can
Ron.
pass both at the same time if everybody's good with that.
Sure, I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda.
Okay. Any seconds?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Ed. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, that passes 5-0. And then moving on to the future agenda items for February 14th. Raj, I didn't even know we had an Ashland groundwater bylaw.
Sir, yes.
Can you get that to us just so we can look it over?
Absolutely. So first,
Yeah.
my mistake, so it's actually a regulation. What has happened, like this is over past 6 months, we had conversations at the town level, multiple people from the town was involved, right? With DEP and EPA, right? What they're trying to do, given the Nyanza situation, right? Like they're trying to kind of, prohibit people to have any kind of groundwater uses in the plume area, So what they have requested town, right? Like, or that we should come up with something on that, And I guess with the legal counsel's help, we have come up with a draft for the Ashland groundwater regulation that I'll be sending it to the board, So I just wanted to brief the board a little bit that, hey, we've been working on this, and I'm sorry, I guess Dr. Ron.
Sorry.
No, just want to make sure. So,
Yeah.
yes,
I'll be
so
back. How did you? Yeah.
sorry. So yes,
Sorry, everybody.
thank you.
Yeah.
So it's just in the plume area, I will be sending the draft to the board, for board to look at it, and we'll discuss, probably next meeting,
That's so interesting. I would have, I would have just assumed, with that explanation that would have already been something that was in there, but apparently it's not. Do people have irrigation systems, in those areas?
That's
Or is it just
another
to
thing.
prevent them from doing it?
Right. We are currently looking at, right, like if there is any sort of any well or anything,
Yeah.
Again, Laura, myself, and Becca from Conservation Commission, she's helping us on this, that just to locate if there is any, we doubt, right, like there is any irrigation there, and I'm definitely aware no well company will drill a well in that kind of area, because what if somebody drills a well, if in that area it probably becomes a site, so I mean well drilling companies will be very careful where they do work, but we are not aware, but I mean we're definitely looking more into it if there is anything from before, like even before
Yeah.
whole situation happened,
Yeah.
So I'll send
Understood.
that to the board for consideration, to have
Okay.
a look at what we come up.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to bring up? And then just to review, we will be having the meeting on February 14th. Is that correct? We're not pushing this back, or are we pushing this back?
I will not be available on the 14th. I don't know if that will be a problem, Ron.
Yeah, and shockingly, I won't either for next time, which I just, I can't remember I don't think I've ever missed a meeting, but I think I'm gonna miss this meeting. So I won't be available, for it either. But Raj, I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir.
I'll
We
talk
will
to you off
discuss it.
there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So isn't it usually the first and third?
Yeah, but so that is actually the third, but we missed last time, so we moved it back. We missed last Monday, so we moved it back. But I do like what Diane had to say about, if we do this meeting next week, at least we get the tobacco vendors if Raj thinks we can get them together that quickly, so. But I mean, anybody have any ideas, Ed?
No, I mean, like, I think sooner than later, we
Yeah,
don't want too much
okay.
time to go by.
Yeah.
Who
No,
would be
I
there
agree.
for the
We could make
14th?
that the only agenda item too.
Yeah, we could have a meeting
Yeah.
before the 14th.
Yeah,
So, sir, what I'll work on, hopefully get that done as soon as possible, and then I'll inform the board, and then we can come up with a meeting, Does that sound good,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, I'll review everything, and so Bernadette and Barbara, would you be available, next Tuesday?
No,
Do
on
you
the
know?
14th.
Yeah, I'll be available next weekend.
You will be, okay.
I won't be. I can't be available on the 14th.
Okay. All right, so then we definitely have to, switch it then.
Can I just say something? If we're gonna
Yeah.
do any kind of sanctions or anything, it really should be a full board vote, not a partial board.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel awful, but okay, yeah. And I think you're right. Raj. All right, so Raj and I'll talk about it. Maybe we can get something together for later in the week. We'll send out a couple of dates and see if people can make it. This way we can hopefully do it before 2 more weeks, as long as everybody can get together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is too soon, but I could definitely do it on the 13th or the 16th, which is Monday or Thursday, and
Yeah.
Friday. But that 14th and 15th, Tuesday and Wednesday, would not be able to.
Okay, so 13th to the 16th for you. Okay.
13th, yeah, 13th and 16th.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send an email out tomorrow and see what, what kind of consensus we can get, see if everybody can get together. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right. No, thanks, everybody. Anybody else? Victoria, you have anything to add?
No, I do
Or
not.
Is she,
Thank
are you
you.
done? You do not? Okay. So
Thank
is this
you.
making you want to go into public health?
Yes, I'm still crazy enough to go into public health. It still makes me want to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, look
Thank
at Raj. He's a little crazy too. So I think this will work
I
out well.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a great guy to have on our team. That's for sure. You're going to learn, you'll learn a lot from him. All right.
Thank you.
Anybody want to
Thank you.
make, as always, the most important motion in of the evening?
Yep, I'll make the motion to
Yeah.
adjourn.
Okay. Thank you. Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks, Bernadette. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Ed, Jay, Barbara, Bernadette, Raj, Laura, and Mark, you too. And Diane, thanks for hopping on. We'll let you know when you'll know when the meeting is, and please feel free to chime in however you want. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Everyone.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone. Have a
everybody.
good night.
All right.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.